A minute. A minute. Okay, so can you see my screen? Financial inclusion presentation.
Yes, sir. Just maximize it, sir.
Is okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir. I can see it, sir.
I've maximized now. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can go on, sir.
It's already maximized. Okay, so
All right, sir.
good morning. I mean, okay, this afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Want to look at the introduction, the concept of financial inclusion and exclusion. We will be looking at the relevance of financial inclusion to the economy.
Sir, we can't hear you, sir.
Please, why don't you help him to share it?
Yeah, he's doing out of the meeting already. I think he's trying to join again.
It's having a little issue. So just give me a minute or two. Okay, so we were discussing about a minute. So I was sharing my screen.
Should I help you in sharing, sir? Should I assist you in sharing, sir?
Oh, yeah, I think that will be better because the internet here is a little, since you have it.
All right, sir. I'll share now, sir.
I will appreciate. Thank you. Thank you.
So, okay, sir. I'm sharing already, sir. I've shared already, sir.
Okay. So we've looked at the topics for discussion. Now, we want to go straight to the concept of financial inclusion. Okay, so can you move up? Okay, so this is the introduction to financial inclusion. Now, I want to believe that most of us have gone through this study pack. This will be an interactive session, so let me hear from you, our candidates. Are you there? We have about 17 of us here. I want to believe that most of us have gone through this the study pack. Do I just go
Yes,
to
sir,
questions? Hello.
No.
I'm not hearing you.
You can continue, sir.
It's okay. So financial inclusion has been defined as individuals and businesses that have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs. Okay, Such needs include transactions, payments, savings, credit and insurance delivered in a responsible and sustainable way. Do you understand? So what we are saying is that the concept of financial inclusion is bringing people who are outside of the financial enclave, the financial ecosystem into the fold so that they can also enjoy financial services. Okay, so we have said that the services which people have access to, they are able to make transactions, they are able to make payments, they are able to make savings. Okay, they are also able to enjoy credit and then insurance services. So all of us who are on this call today, it is my belief that all of us, one way or the other, will do almost all of the things that are listed here. And we are enjoying the benefits of having access to all these financial services. And because of the relationship between you being able to do all of these things and the impact it has on your living status, on your um, on your ease of life. It is because of this relationship that the World Global Body deems it fit that financial inclusion should be entrenched, to be deepened so that people who do not have access to these services, transaction, payment, savings, credit, insurance services, and all that are related, it is because of the relationship between this and their standard of living that the world body, UN, and cascading into every nation, every federal government, every national government, took it upon themselves to make sure that our systems and resources are made available and enhancements are made to ensure that financial inclusion is deepened. While we may have in the urban centers, the rural areas, people in the rural areas, they are the one who suffer most because one, it may the providers of these services, for example, say banks, the cost of setting up a branch of a bank in the rural areas is is much, and because they will not be able to break even going to the hinterland and rural areas, it doesn't make a business sense for them to go there. Likewise, insurance companies and some other bodies or agencies that are concerned with financial inclusion services provision. I think I'm making sense. Hello?
Hi.
We can hear you.
We can hear you,
Thank
sir.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, and that is why, because of the relationship between the standard of living and the benefits that are accruable to having access to financial inclusion services, because of this relationship, the government of the day, in fact, since 2012, there has been moves, there have been programs that are targeted at deepening financial inclusion. So we said the objectives of the financial inclusion is to provide financial services to all, to clear regulations. Now, in the provision of financial services, there are regulations to safeguard the stakeholders, the people who are playing therein. Okay. Now, financial inclusion also, okay, we have just made that definition that it describes a situation where people who do not have access to financial services are able. Now, at a point in time, that was as at the year 2023, it was estimated that amount of people were not having access, okay, and that because of financial illiteracy, they don't have access to financial services. Now, what do we mean when we say somebody is financially illiterate? Somebody may be literate, being able to read and write, but that does not make him financially literate. Financial literacy means being able to access financial services, taking positive steps to ensure that he's able to access credit and all of that. Do you understand? Okay. Now, what are the challenges that Nigerians face in accessing financial services? Some may say, me that is just earning this small amount. If I say I want to open an account now, I don't have enough money. So they may say, I don't want to again go and put this money in the bank. To them, money put in the bank does not belong to them, but the bank. And it is not so. When you open an account, that money is still your own. Though the bank may take some little charges, but the benefits accruing to you as having an account far outweigh the little charges with the bank. So the complaint may be, okay, I don't have funds, not knowing that you being able to access bank accounts will also be a way of you being able to get maybe some overdraft and so on, which will even make more funds accruable to you. Some will say because they lack required documentation for bank account opening. Okay, some may say I don't have NIN. Some may say I don't have utility bill and things like that. And yet, these are the things that are necessary for them even to be able to do other things. If you don't have NIN today in Nigeria, that does not help you. You will not even be able to access other services that where means of identification is concerned. Some will say, well, lack of proximity to the bank, and some may say because of higher charges. These are complaints you will hear from people. And between you and I, you know that these are lame excuses. You understand? Okay. So the next slide. Okay. So now, as I asked the other time, I want to believe that by now all of us have the study part. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have the study part. We have gone through it. And at this time, today is 22nd,
23rd, sir.
23rd, you see. So our exam is just about a few weeks, about 2 weeks ahead now. So by this time around, we should be rounding up our study, just what do I call revision. And so what we are doing today is a revision. So for you to ask your questions, and maybe if the time permits, there are some questions, some true and false questions that are prepared for you, which we can just look at maybe in just within 10 minutes, okay, covering at least a part, some of the topics that are on the study part. Okay. So if you are asked, what are the steps towards the implementation of the Nigerian Financial Inclusion Strategy? This NFIS 2.0 is saying is just a codification of steps that have been taken to deepen Nigerian financial inclusion services. So what are the steps that have been taken? From the book, you will see that one, there have been an emergence of industry-wide implementation plan. The CBN, which is the organ of the government in charge of deepening financial inclusion, has been making effort, has been making wide effort. Then there has been development of performance measures for the implementation plan. Okay, performance measure is just like milestones, which uh, continue to guide as are we moving forward or not. Then there has been a framework for women to assess finance. I'm happy we have women in this meeting, in this call. Am I right? Mrs. Mojisola Gaba, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So there are people, it has been discovered that when
Yeah.
women have, when women are empowered
Yeah.
financially,
Yes.
you are empowering nation. Yes,
Yes,
women,
sir.
yes, women when they are financially empowered, it have great influence on the family and by inference the
Exactly,
nation.
sir. Yeah.
Thank you. So it is therefore there is a framework for women to access finance. In most grants, there are some grants that they will say um, they want to they can only give to organizations where women are shareholders, they are part of the management team and all of that. All these are tailored towards deepening financial inclusion among the women population. Okay. And then four, there is increased focus on stakeholder commitment towards financial inclusion. So these are the steps that are being taken majorly by the central bank, which is the anchor, which is the leader, which is the arrowhead in deepening financial inclusion. All the banks too, all the commercial banks, they are also part of the stakeholder. Okay. Two, another question could come like, what are the Nigeria financial inclusion strategy outlook for years 2021 to 2024? Because these have been broken, as I explained, that these are milestones. That between 2021 and 2024, there are expectations as to where should we be in our financial inclusion status as a nation. So now, the answer to this has been there is now, apart from the 2.0, they have gone into strategy 3.0. Okay, there's a national fintech. You will see that many fintechs are coming up. Fintechs, financial banks that are fintech, not the traditional commercial bank, and you see them coming up, almost overtaking the traditional commercial banks, even in their the accuracy, the speed with which they get transactions done. We have OPay, we have Money Point, and so on, and the likes. Okay, and then there is also strategy for leveraging agent networks to drive women financial inclusion. Now, most of us here, we are studying to become financial expert, agency banking experts. Okay. Now, when we do that, we are deepening agent network, bank agent network. So these are the outlook, the expectations for the NFIS, that is the Nigerian Financial Inclusion Strategy 3.0. Okay, so next slide. Now, what is the relevance of financial inclusion to the economy? You know, that we mentioned that briefly when we are introducing what is the meaning of financial inclusion? What is the relevance? Of what importance? Why of what role do financial inclusion play to the economy? Okay, and these have been listed there. Now, let's begin from this 10, attain sustainable development goals. We have about 17 sustainable development goals. Now, this so-called sustainable development goals is just the window which the United Nations look towards development. Development. How do we look at a nation and say this nation is well developed? What are the yardsticks for measuring development? So we have about 17 measures, okay? And most of them, there is linearity, there is connection, positive correlation between the rate of financial inclusion and the attainment of these sustainable development goals. Okay, that is the relevance. We should not forget, because that is the drive. The United Nations is hammering on we being able to achieve those goals. That once we are able to achieve those 17 goals, as individuals in this nation, we will be better off. Okay, so all others too, from 9 to 1, are things that I'm sure, are not difficult for us. Okay, expanding investment opportunities and attract foreign investment, improve productivity, reduction in income inequality. Now, this inequality is part of the sustainable development goals. So what do we mean by inequality? Disparity between, when we say the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Okay, so there's the need to bridge the gap between the far rich and the far poor. And it is people who have access to financial services who hitherto do not have access, and now they have access. It bridges the gap in their income level. So that is what that 7 is talking about. Then empowerment and employment. When people have access to financial services, it's a way of empowering them. Their eyes are open, okay? And some are even able to be gainfully employed just by, for example, people who are doing POS, for example, POS agent. It's an employment. They are able to earn at least decent income to sustain themselves. Okay. Then social inclusion and increase in savings. Okay. When you have your income, there are 2 things about 3 things you do with it. Either you consume, you save, or you invest. You understand? So when we are financially included, financially literate, financially exposed to all those services, it helps us to be able to deepen social inclusion, and then we are able to, because savings is the bedrock of development. When we don't have savings and we want to make use of finances, then we have to go and borrow. And if we don't have the documentation for us that will enable us to have access, things are defeated. Okay, then poverty reduction. Poverty reduction, I'm sure we can explain that. Then growth and development, stimulate entrepreneurship, and then increase the financial stability. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so the practice question on that, on the relevance of financial inclusion to the economy. If I ask you to name examples of informal, unregulated financial tools, I'm sure we'll be able to name them. There are tools that are being used, which are financial tools. They are unregulated. Okay. All of that we have in the slide, we'll look at them. Then inclusive growth is a prerequisite for sustainable development in an economy. Inclusive, when we say inclusive growth, it's growth on every side, growth on every front. Okay, and it is needed for sustainable development in every economy. Okay, so the question is answering itself. So what they want you to look at there is inclusive, that is growth on every front, on every area. Then list the economic benefits of greater financial inclusion. And that we have just looked at. We look at about 10. Then we also say that there is linearity, that is, there is positive correlation between financial inclusion and the sustainable development goals discussed. Okay, that the more financial inclusion, the greater number of people who are financially included, the easier it is to achieve sustainable development goal. That's what that is talking about. And this practice question 5 is saying, in what way do financial inclusion, okay, can financial inclusion contribute to financial stability? Okay, now you will notice that the Central Bank of Nigeria, which is saddled with ensuring that there's not too much inflation. When you hear about financial stability, it's talking about inflation. Now, what the CBN does to ensure that the value of the naira is stable, that is, we are not having too much of inflation, is just to ensure that it controls money supply. Controls when there is too much money in the circulation. Ordinarily, there will be inflation. There could also be other reasons. So, but now, for CBN to be able to control the amount of money in the circulation, they know what to do. They will tidy up the supply. But CBN will not be able to tidy up that if the money is not within their control. Money outside the banking system is outside their control. And so financial inclusion, meaning that people having access to financial services are able to bring their money under the control of CBN. And with that, CBN can now control that money and be able to control inflation, which is financial stability. And so there is a positive correlation now between the level, the higher people are able to access financial services, the easier it becomes for CBN to be able to do perform its duty of stabilizing inflation in the country. I think that is also clear. So the next slide. Okay, now financial inclusion in Nigeria. You will recollect that we said about 22.6 million people as at December 2023 are financially excluded. Okay, so there has been some measurement that the financial sector boasts of about 27 commercial banks. Okay, so that figure of about 22.6 is because of the concern of the financial inclusion stakeholders, the CBN, the banks, and all of that. It is because of the concern that they are able to develop some metrics to measure, okay, where are we? And they're able to find that out. So financial inclusion in Nigeria is being monitored. Okay, and on this slide, we are saying that we have about 27 commercial banks with the entry of this and that. So today, this position could even have changed because recently I read that I think Merchant Bank was also given practice license for them to operating license by CBN. So there are new entries, and with all things being equal, with additional financial banks, or whether they be commercial, whether they be merchant bank, whether they be any other bank, whether they even be this fintech, the more they are, ordinarily, all things being equal, it should help the financial inclusion status of Nigeria. Because if they do their work, maybe their marketing and all of that, they're able to also bring in people who previously do not have access to financial services. You understand? Okay. So we have that. And then we say these are unbanked. And our findings have revealed that the current unbanked or underbanked population control over large percentage of this and this and this. Now, this place is saying that despite the people not having access, not having their own bank, yet they are doing transactions. Okay. And as we explained earlier, it makes when this money does not, it's not within the banking sector, it becomes difficult for the CBN to control. The next slide. Okay, so a considerable percentage of the adult population are unbanked or underbanked. So why is this so? In your own view, what are the challenges confronting financial inclusion in Nigeria? What are the challenges that are confronting financial inclusion in Nigeria in our own view? Okay, because this is a revision class, these are the type of questions you are likely to meet. What are the challenges? Challenges that have been confronting financial, that has not made us as a nation to go beyond where we are. What are the challenges? Okay, if I ask us, I'm sure some of us we have answers to this, but some of them could be just as we have hinted. Some may say because they don't have money, they don't have the necessary document. Some may even say that religion, especially at certain parts of the country where women are, they don't have enough freedom either to go out or to even do things on their own. So all those things are inhibiting challenges that are confronting financial inclusion in Nigeria. Okay, and efforts are being made to break those kernels, to see how those things can we can overcome those obstacles. Now, name 5 stakeholders. If I ask to name 5 stakeholders in the financial inclusion drive, okay, that is, stakeholders means people who have one thing or the other to do with deepening financial inclusion. We have mentioned CBN, we've mentioned commercial banks, we have mentioned fintechs, we have also mentioned merchant banks, we have mentioned many other things. Okay, so next slide. Now, what are the suggested initiatives to improving the rate of financial? So I want to believe we're all following. Let me hear from you. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
So
sir.
the suggested initiatives to improving the rate of financial inclusion in Nigeria. So suggested initiatives, that is, what are the means, efforts, strategies to improve where we are in financial inclusion in Nigeria? Okay, so there has been government-sponsored financial literacy program. That is, if this is done, if all these things that we have listed here, if they are to be embarked upon, if they are to be deepened, if they are to be publicized and allowed to have effect, then the rate of financial inclusion, that is the number of people who will be having access to financial services, will be increased. One, government-sponsored financial literacy program. Government-sponsored financial literacy program. Now, part of what we in this class, on this call are doing is also financial literacy. And I quickly want to add, do you know that majority of people do not, though they open an account, but they don't transact. They say because the bank will be taking charges, and as such, they don't want to operate their account. That when money comes to the bank, they will take little charges, and as a result of that, they leave the account unoperated and becomes dormant. Now, for the benefit of we in this class this afternoon, it is not in their favor for you to have an account and not operating. Do you know why? Any day you want to access credit, and they say, okay, well, go and bring your account statement. They say, I have not been operating the account. They say, just bring, or even some even have, and they are operating it sparingly. It is when it is convenient for them that they say, okay, let this one go there. Now, when they bring those account statements out to the bank for credit, there are two things your financial your statement of account will reveal in 1 second. Number one, the volume. What have you been able to do? What is the value of transaction that have passed through that account in the period covered? Then two, the regularity. How often do these transactions go in? It's not that you just deposit money in the account that they want to see. It is those two things, the value and then the regularity. I think we are learning. I think we are getting what I'm saying. I want to have your feedback. Hello.
Hello, we are with you.
Okay. So
we are following.
people around. Yes. Yes. Thank you. People around you. Ask them. Let them know that there is a need for them. Once they have account, even those who do not have, let them have. There will be benefit to them having the account and making good use of it. Luckily now, if with the apps, any money on your account, if you want to make payment, you can just, even without leaving where you are, from your phone, you can transfer. Okay. You don't have to visit a bank now for you to have your transactions done. So it makes it easy. So part of this is what we are talking about right now is financial literacy. Financial literacy, just what I'm telling you now. Because people are ignorant about the usefulness of some of these things. That's why they don't pay attention. But you are better off now with this exposure. Then two, the use of local government authority to reach the financially excluded. Okay, the local government setup is they are very close to the people.
So we are not hearing you. Hello?
Mr. Chris, we can't hear you again, sir.
We are not hearing you again. Hello?
I think it's his
Maybe there
network.
is network problem. Hello? Sir, we cannot hear you.
Just hold on, sir. I think it's his network. Yeah, just left. We'll join again. Just hold on, please.
Hello, Israel.
Oh, welcome back, sir.
Hello.
Sir, welcome back, sir. You can continue, sir.
Hello, Israel. Okay.
I can hear you, sir. You can continue, sir.
Okay.
So we can't hear you
Sir, we
again,
can't
sir.
hear you again, oh.
We can't hear you.
Mr. Chris, we can't hear you anymore.
Maybe we are having network issue now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I think Mr. Chris is having a talk issue. So just give him some moments,
Mm.
please.
This is what I'm seeing. Mm.
Sorry, it's like the network. Hello, house.
Yes, sir. We can
Are
hear
we
you now, sir.
there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you now.
It's okay. So,
Can hear you.
So we are having network issue now.
So go on, sir.
it's okay. Okay, so that can help improve the rate of financial inclusion is strengthening the financial infrastructure, infrastructure, the things financial
Sorry, sir,
service.
you were explaining the local government before the network issue. You didn't conclude.
Sorry. Yes. Now I was saying that when the people in a local government, when they see the efforts of their of the people representing them in the local government, championing the need for them to be financially included, either to open an account or to do one thing or the other, so that they can have access to financial services. It will make people will respond positively. Okay. Then now the other one is strengthening financial infrastructure. And by infrastructure would mean the facilities that are targeted at financial services provision. Okay. The other thing is special reporting procedure of all fraud cases compulsorily by banks and distinct courts of law to attend to such cases. Now, this will also help when people report that then it should be easy to report those fraud cases. Should be willing to report them. Okay, but you and I will agree that nobody it's not easy to cry. The banks when fraud happen in banks, it is not to be making it public. Okay, whereas it will help, but the negative effect is that there will be a run on those banks. A run means that people will be your money, when withdraw your money, and the effect is that that bank will be pulled down. Okay, because banks thrive on trust and loyalty. Trust, okay, and then the court, when people report things, they go to court to seek the redress that borders on fraud and all of that. There should be separate courts which will quickly attend to those things so that there's speedy determination rather than you being in court for 10, 12 years and you'll be spending money. And then at the end of the day, you just say, instead of me even having to use good money to purchase bad one, why can't I just keep silent? Okay. So that's the suggestion there, that there should be distinct, separate court of law to attend to fraud cases. This will help financial be able to deepen financial inclusion. Then there should be financial inclusion targets for banks. The regulators, either the CBN, okay, who is the major arrowhead in financial inclusion drive, to set financial inclusion targets for banks. If they have that, it will drive them to be able to reach the unreached, especially through, and then encourage gender equality in access to financial services. We have explained this earlier, that if you want to apply for some grant, they want to know how many do we have women as part of the shareholders of that company? Do women hold sensitive and key strategic positions? It is so they want, and those are efforts by those donors to encourage gender equality in access to financial services. And then more regulation of fintechs, digital lending, and credit reporting system. There should be more regulation of them, okay? And then specific products and services for the unbanked and the underbanked by the banks. Special products should be developed that will meet the needs of those who are in the hinterland, those who are unbanked and underbanked. The difference between being unbanked and then being underbanked. The unbanked are people who do not have access to banking service. While the underbanked they have access, but they are not satisfied. Maybe where they should be having about 3, 4, 5 accounts, they just have one. Just say, let me be a name. You understand? Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, so we have gone through so much there about the initiatives. We've gone through those initiatives that, if embarked upon, will be able to help the rate, improve the rate of financial inclusion. So if these are just practice questions that which will suggest ways in which financial inclusion can be improved. One, by the government, by the regulators. Okay, the government here, part of them included in this government here at the local government, the initiative they should take, which we mentioned, the regulators, CBN, the financial institutions for themselves, that they should have targets. Okay, and then in technology, we have fintech. So by technology, we are referring to the fintech, and then there are even people now, by the use of your phone, you can open account, you can do this and all of that. So these are ways in which financial inclusion can be improved by this. These are all stakeholders, okay? These are stakeholders: the government, the regulator, the financial institutions, and those in the technology, practitioners of technology. B, to achieve desired result, what measures do you suggest to be put in place? Okay, what measures? The measures that will help drive. So there should be KPI, key performance indicators, performance measures that should be introduced. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so now in our study pack, there is also a topic known as financial inclusion in other economies. Okay, for us to be able to see in the Committee of Nations, where are we? Where are we? Okay, so we have some continents here. You know, we have about 7 continents. Okay, we are in Africa. Okay, so this globally, look at this is what we have globally. In 2023, we have about 47.3. Okay, as at 2023. In Europe, we have this rate of financial people who are the rates of people who have access to financial services. In the Americas, both South and North, we have about 50.4. In the Middle East, we have this. In Asia, we have this. Okay. In Southeast Asia, we have this. And then in the Oceania, we have 58 point this. Okay. These are what was, this was the percentage of the citizens having access to financial services, one or the other. This was as at December 2023. Okay, we should just know that. And then, okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. Financial inclusion in other economies continue. Okay, so this is for the Philippines. Philippines is an emerging country with a sizable number of people living in poverty, and that access to financial services is an important challenge to them. Okay. Then in India, this was the position. As of fiscal year 2023, the Financial Inclusion Index of India was 60.1, according to this agency. Then financial inclusion in the United States. In 2019, most Americans were banked, with about 94.6 of the population having a check or savings account with an insured, yes, this is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation institution, okay? Then financial inclusion in the European countries. In Europe, financial inclusion is achieved primarily by granting access to credit market, then to increase the number of borrowers in the credit market and ensure its stability. So these are what is happening in other economies. And you recollect that I mentioned that it is the World Agency, UN, that is driving, monitoring the rate of financial inclusion, having set the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, so those are metrics for measuring the index, the growth, the development of the human capital in each of those nations. The next slide. Next slide. Okay, so practice questions on financial inclusion in other economies. In your own words, what do you understand by income inequality? What's the relationship between financial inclusion and income inequality? I think we have talked about that earlier. Poverty levels in the Middle East and North African region has continued to increase. What factors contributed to this increase? List the suggested way of enhancing financial inclusion in the region. Now, in the Middle East, we know what's happening because of the religion. Women are almost being financially excluded, most. Okay, and also this North African thing too. It's majorly because of the religion that you will agree with me that in most of those regions there is an apathy against interest and all of that. Okay, that once you any credit that though they are developing their own financial financial product, but there is apathy against the women having to be able to stand on their own. Women are they are restricted, and that has been contributing to the poverty level in those areas. Okay, so how do we enhance financial inclusion in this area? Okay, products that will be able to enhance financial inclusion to be developed, irrespective of their religion. The religion notwithstanding, there should be products that are developed to make it easy for them to access financial services. Okay. And I'm sure there are also other reasons attributed to this position in our study part. Then there is a greater use of formal account and formal credit in China. What are the conditions associated with this development in China? And I think that they are doing there to ensure that the people who have formal, they have account, and then they have credit. These are things that are driving financial inclusion. Okay. Then in Zambia, okay, so just let's look at that that portion of the of our syllabus. I mean the study part, and then get those areas well. Then Zambia has made progress in promoting financial inclusion over the past years. What factors aided this development? What has Zambia been doing? It is noted also in the study part that they have been making steady development. Just like Kenya, M-Pesa was developed, and then it has helped. In fact, Kenya seems to be like the model for most African countries in financial inclusion because of their that M-Pesa thing. It has been very helpful. It is just like all this fintech thing that people can on their phone, they can open account, they can do that, they can do this, and so they call that that product M-Pesa. In their language, it is something about access to financial services. Okay, and Zambia is also what is also helping Zambia and the Zambian too to make progress in their financial inclusion drive. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so in summary, in summary, let's look at financial inclusion as a way and means of bringing people who do not have access to financial services into the fold, into that band where they now have access to financial services. It helps them as individual. It helps the government to be able to control inflation. It also helps the government because it helps them to be able to plan. For example, now you hear about government wanting to distribute palliative. You understand? If the government wants to distribute palliative, rather than you having to go, I mean, individual having to be visiting houses, let them just share their account number and the palliative can be sent directly to them. So I want to believe we'll be able to get to a stage where every household, there will be somebody who has an account, and then the benefits, the dividends of government policies can then be enjoyed by everybody in the nation. So in summarizing, there is need, okay, for every one of us, everyone, and I mean everyone, for us to every hands to be on deck to see how we can deepen financial inclusion. It is the bedrock of agency banking. Okay, and then listen to our questions and then see how we can provide answers to them. Thank you.
So, if you please, thank you, Mr. Christopher. So, if you have any questions, please, as we did yesterday, raise up your hand. So, to mention your name, so you ask a question, so you can give your answer to your question. Please, any question, please. If you have a question, if you have any question, please raise up your hand so you can ask. Okay, Mr. We have Oladejo Olawale. So please go answer. Oladejo, your hand is up, so you can speak. Unmute yourself, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes. My question is, in a situation whereby to confuse people, as in to confuse them on to go to get a buy to have a bank or to be financial inclusion, and they are turning it down that okay, this bank is not here. For example, let me mention one of the fintech like OPay. If I have issue, how will I go about it? All those blah blah. That's my
Mr.
question.
Mr. Chris, do you get the question, sir?
So, okay, so eh, I didn't get your question where I know you mentioned OP that they don't have office where you can
Okay.
complain. So what's the question
What I'm saying,
exactly?
what I'm saying is that my question is, if, for example, I meet some customer and I'm trying to convince them that you need to go financial inclusion, that you need to open account, all those, that, okay, I tried, okay, where you can open bank, I can help you as an agent. And, most of people, they believe that they prefer bank that they will see physical bank, or let me say commercial bank. So now, okay, I'm an agent of OPay. Don't worry if I have any issue. But you are trying to persuade them, but yet they don't want to listen. And my question now is, in that case, how can I go about it as in to convince them the words, or how to convince those people?
Okay, so if I get you clearly, you are an agent for OP.
Yes, let's say for example, sir.
No, is it for example, or you are
Yes, for example,
an
I'm
agent?
agent to OPay, PalmPay, and some others, sir. I'm just using that as an example, sir.
Okay, so if you are agent to them, so what are you to do for them? What are your terms of reference?
I can open a new account for new customer, and I can also give them ATM.
Oh, great, great. Okay, so between you and I, I'm sure not everybody is complaining that they don't have they don't see the physical structure of OPay. It's not everybody, just only few.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
But
now,
what of if I come across those people who are, maybe let me use this, I'm sorry to use it, those unrepentant people that still want to be local. How can we go about it, convincing them to go national inclusion?
okay, so it is you. Maybe you are not known to them. You may need, I think what you will need to do is that you will go to the maybe the head of the community. You try how you can build trust, build trust, build trust. Maybe there is an association. See who are the leaders of the association. So once this information is coming from the leaders of the association, people they can lay hands on, then it becomes easier for them to believe and trust. Let those leaders first open the account, be able to tell them, since I opened this account, there has not been any issue. In fact, when my son or daughter want to send me money from Lagos, it was easy. When me too, when I want to make payment for this, it was easy. So it may not be immediate, but little by little they get convinced. This is my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mercy Jim, on to you now. Ask your question, please. Mercy Jim, are you there? Okay, if she's not there, Peter Blessing, please. Over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I have a contribution. I can answer to what Oladejo just said now.
Oh, good. We want to
Like
learn.
before he became, let me say that OPay that he used as an instance. Before he became an agent, he met an agent direct from OPay's office or thereabout that helped him process it. Now, if your customers are having issues, then you are the one they know. Like me now, I am an agent, just like he said. And many people in my area, I'm the one, even those that do not open accounts with me, once they have issue, they will come to me. I am the physical OPay that they see. So I will now, if I try my best to resolve the issue and I'm unable to resolve it, then I will have to call them from the office where I usually go. That from there, maybe they can help the person resolve the issue. Because I'm
Thank you
the one.
so much. That's good. Thank you so much. I think Mr. Oladejo, you've had her.
Mercy Jim, are you there? Okay, so if no other questions and Mercy Jim is not online anymore, so I would like to call it a day. I would like to say thank you, Mr. Chris, for your time and dedication, and I would like to thank every candidate here for finding time to join this tutorial session on a Sunday. I know it's not easy after church and every other activity on the weekend. So I would like to say thank you and would like to end the session here for today. Thank you very much, everyone. And the fourth tutorial session will hold next week, Saturday, by 10 a.m. again. And after the tutorial session, we will try to explain or teach how to use the exam platform. That's the proctoring platform for the examination, how to use it, how to install and everything. So call someone from Dragnet. So that's the exam platform. So they'll explain to us, hopefully next Saturday, but we'll pass the information across on when this training will hold. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone. Have a
Please, before you go, you promised to send the lectures of yesterday. We have not seen it.
I'm
And the
going
one
to
for
send
today.
it. Yeah, I'm going
When
to
are you
add.
supposed to do?
I'm meant to add both of them. That's why. So it's now it's 3 now. So I have
Okay.
to send everything via one link. Stop me doing multiple links. So now I have to combine 3 of them and send a single link.
So when are we expecting it?
So hopefully by the end of today, if I have a strong network to download and match everything all together. And
Okay,
I'll
no
share
problem.
the slides of the facilitators also with the link. If you want to use the slide and with study packs, you're free to go ahead. So hopefully by the end of today, if the strong network, so if no strong network, possibly first thing tomorrow morning, you'll get it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now I want to say that we are very proud. In fact, we are jealous. I mean, how do I use it now? Yes, we are very jealous over you, our distinguished, prized, valued candidate. Exams are meant to be passed. It is easier even to pass than to fail for somebody who really wants to pass. And I want to believe that all of us on this platform, we have passed, even by making effort to attend this. So we are jealous over you, and do all your best to also make us proud. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Enjoy the
Thank
rest
you
of the
very
day.
much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you.